Hello and welcome to the Farmhouse Witchcraft channel. The purpose of this channel is to share with you my own personal journey of how I'm taking a more homegrown, localized approach to my spirituality and my craft, and also to encourage other people to do the same, give it a go. And I know that I am not the only person doing this. This is definitely it's not an idea that's only popped into my head, but if this is also something that you yourself are doing, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to be in contact with you. I think it would be great fun. So what do I mean by homegrown paganism and homegrown spirituality and witchcraft? Well, so often what happens is that when we talk about going back to our roots, usually, when we're in the beginning of our studies, this whole question of, where do I even begin? Oftentimes we receive advice to go back to our roots. Well, sometimes I think we get so absorbed in thinking about and trying to learn and find out more about our ancient roots and our ancient ancestors and what people may or may not have done an ocean away 1,000 years ago, that we forget that we have roots where we are, right here where we live, and right here in the here and now. And really, I find that while it's very interesting to learn about what my ancient ancestors may have been up to, and I find it fascinating to learn about what other cultures may have done with their forms of the craft. It's interesting, it's fascinating, but it's not necessarily helping me become a better witch. It's not necessarily helping me become more proficient in my capacity as a priestess. And that's really what I want to focus on right now. So hope you enjoy the ride as I go along with this, because what I'm intending to do is take a look at my environment. And right now, well, and really for most of my life, I have lived in the state of Missouri in the United States. And in all that time, I never really paid proper attention to what kind of animals are native to my area, what kind of plants are native to my area, what kind of stones are plentiful or more rare in the area. It's just I haven't really looked into what's here. And the reason I haven't looked into it is because I've been distracted with everything else. Well, I want to change that. And as you might surmise, from a name like Farmhouse Witchcraft, because I do live in a rural area that's, there's a lot of farms around here, a lot of different kinds of farms. There's a farmer's market in the town where I live that I love to go to. And I want to pay a little bit more attention. What are the animals that are being farmed, the crops that are being farmed. I want to get more in tune with that kind of energy, because let's face it, these are the things that I'm going to come in contact with, on a pretty normal daily basis. The lions, the tigers, and all of the exotic animals, and all of the rare crystals that are to be found in different parts of the world. It's wonderful, it's fascinating, but I'm probably not going to be able to get to work with them in any meaningful way. Perhaps yes, through meditation, but it's not the same thing as being able to go out and look at something, being able to touch it and feel it and experience it. And that's really where I'm going with my craft, and that's the point of this entire channel. In addition to that, I also have a Facebook page where I'm going to be furthering this journey. I've already created several albums of just getting visuals of what kind of animals are native to my own state, and I'll be moving on to plants after I get through with those. I'm also having created a Facebook group called Farmhouse Witches, and that's basically I'm wanting for everyone to, if they're interested, to have a place to gather, a sanctuary where, we're just talking about the craft, or, oh, I learned about this particular animal, and, and it's because of this I've started doing this or that, or I discovered this plant that I always thought was a weed and now it's useful to me, things like that, sharing our projects. For instance, on the page last week, I shared a post in which I had this beautiful autumn quilt that I found on Pinterest, and I was showing it off, and I said how it occurred to me about how, we could use, the, kind of the heritage type of crafts that a lot of us grew up with, quilting or embroidery or knitting, crochet, woodworking, metalworking, things that are common to that a lot of us learn about, in this particular area. And we can apply those ideas to our craft, discussing ideas like that. And of course, sharing, our favorite decorations for the various holidays, our favorite recipes, something that's very community based, something that's very relaxed, informal. It's not about people arguing and talking over each other over theological issues, fully on that. Just a nice sanctuary where we can just enjoy uh, the being ourselves, being witches, and the enjoyment that we find in our craft. I also have a lot of galleries on Pinterest, and I'll provide a link on that. And see what else. Oh, yes, the blog. The blog is going to be kind of the text version of what I'm doing on the YouTube channel. I'm going to cover a lot of similar topics on both because, some people prefer to read, some people prefer videos. It's not going to be exactly the same because that's boring for me, but it will cover a lot of the same territory, just perhaps phrased a little bit differently. I'm going to put all the links down below in the description. And please feel free to come visit me on Facebook and send me messages there. I'm hoping to come in contact with like-minded witches and fellow pagans. I guess that's all for now. See you next time. Bye.